Tell me a little bit more about, your time spent with Carmine Persico, man.
It was funny and probably something I look back at as funny, and some people might not. But in the feds, every day for lunch, it's kind of the same thing. Like Thursday's chicken leg quarter, Friday's fish, Wednesday is always like hamburger or cheeseburger and French fries. So it was a Wednesday, and I get my plate, and Carmine calls me over to the table, and I'm sitting with him, and I'm eating this hamburger. And I said, "Man, this is good." He goes, "Go back up and get you another one." I said, "No." He goes, "Why not?" I said, "I don't want to get in trouble, man." He said, "Jesus, you robbed banks." He said, "You gave your life away and you're scared to go get a hamburger." And he looked at the cop at the end of the line. He goes, "Hawkins, bring Jimmy a hamburger." And the guy brought like 3 hamburgers.
Are you shitting, man?
Carmine just shaking his head going, "I don't believe you. You come here and you lose your balls. Because what, did I take the commissary from you?" But it was just, I'm sitting there looking at it. Man, they do kind of, because, when you have little things, you don't want to lose those little things.
Right. Gotcha, yeah.
But it was like just sitting there looking at that, about how he said it. And I'm like, he's right. And it's like, as I told you before with Carmine, I mean, just the talks and just the lessons that he gave me. Because, it was a tough time at the beginning of my sentence. I'm looking up at like 171 months, as we talked about. I go to prison, lose my family, lose my kids and stuff. And I remember I would call my kids every now and then if I had the money. And this one time I called, and I asked to talk to my oldest son, Chase. And my wife said, "Chase feels uncomfortable with you," because she had a live-in boyfriend. So she said, "He feels uncomfortable talking to you with him here." So I mean, that kind of upset me.
Right.
So I go out to the yard, Carmine's able to tell I'm upset. And I tell him what's going on. He says, like, "Jimmy, everybody says if you're going to do a lot of time, you got to let the streets go." And he said, "Those are little boys you got." He goes, "Let them enjoy their childhood. They got a guy there that you said he's a decent dude. And you say your wife is a great mother. That's why you didn't want to have her whacked." Right?
Right.
Let those kids enjoy their childhood. They don't need to think about a dad in prison when they're little boys going to school and starting to play sports. He goes, "You got to step back." He goes, "I'm not saying don't do nothing. Send them birthday cards, send them Christmas cards, drop them a letter every now and then. If she gives it to them, she gives it to them. You can say at least you made an effort."
Right.
And he said, "I guarantee you it's not them that's uncomfortable. I bet it's her is uncomfortable."
Right.
But he said, "You got to let those kids enjoy their childhood." And I thought about it, and he was right. And it's like, I had to drop back. And because that's tough, when you're facing all that time. And it's like, I see people, all these guys, they'd have girlfriends and wives, and they'd be riding the phones. And then if they're not there on a Friday night, they're just going crazy. Well, I didn't really have that problem, but with my kids, I would think about. And it was just something that I had to put that to rest so I could concentrate on my time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
no, I hear you. So you couldn't really, I guess, micromanage from prison, those things hardly. It's
no,
like,
and it's like, I wouldn't even try to, because I'm not going to tell her how to raise my kids or how to do stuff with my kids when I'm not even there.
Yeah.
So that's unfair. So, I mean, he just taught me a lesson.